Because it's kind of a desperate thing to be an open mic comic, but the people that I'm most afraid to tell are my parents. It's an awkward conversation, I know it's going to be. Because my parents know that my brother's been addicted to heroin for many, many years, but I still don't want to tell them that I'm an open mic comic because I don't want to be the bigger disappointment. So the conversation would go like this, it's like, oh, you called into work to go to a bar to get the approval of strangers? I mean, your brother's doing heroin, but he's not sucking dick for it. You get your shit together. Alright, that's a dark joke. Let's tell some more funny jokes. I like to write jokes like when I'm really high. So you guys might enjoy this. Some of you guys are a little high. You maybe some. Alright, so the first one is people say we live in the 21st century, we should have flying cars by now, like the Jetsons did. But we do have flying cars, they're called helicopters and they're only for rich people. You just want one that's cheap and easy to fly. And it's just like everything the Jetsons had. We have conveyor belt sidewalks, they're in the airport. If you had it in your house, you'd be mega fucking rich. Dick DeVos has a helicopter, none of you guys do. He's got a flying car. Seated. I feel like I should clarify that when I said I was really high when I wrote these jokes, I was really high on acid, not on weed. Especially for this next one. The next one is short, but I find it really perplexing, so I want you to really listen to me. Do you think if they invented shorts first, that they would call pants longs? I think they would. I've already started using it. I got a nice pair of longs on tonight. I'm a comic, so I meet a lot of jokey people, and then I also, just at work you meet jokey people all the time. People who tell like a lot of cliche jokes, and it's exhausting and annoying, but I can handle it. What I can't handle is when people fuck up cliche jokes without realizing it. So I'll give you an example. Recently, I was driving with a friend of mine, and I was driving slow. And the joke he was trying to make is, you drive like old people fuck, which whatever, ha ha ha, I drive slow. Very funny, I've heard it before. But what he actually said is, you drive like you fuck. Which doesn't make any sense because he's never seen me fuck. And it also doesn't make any sense because I drive cautiously, safely, and at a consistent speed the entire time, which is a decent way to get fucked. She knows what I'm talking about, especially because the way that he drove aggressively as fast as possible and with no regard for human life. Like, nobody wants to get fucked like that.
I am so happy to be here, guys. I'm so happy because there's another female in the show, and normally when I do comedy shows in Sag Nasty, I'm the only chick, and they do something wrong all the time. They'll like put me first, and they put all the dudes after it. And I don't know if you guys watch a lot of porn, but if you don't put the female in the middle, it's just gay. It's just gay. So I'm very happy to be here providing no homo for all the guys in the show. Now we'll get to the real jokes now. So I had twins 15 months ago. Twins? The ladies usually jump in. I've done that. I've said that before in shows like full of men, and they don't clap. They don't even blink an eye. It's like they're like, well, was it triplets? Like, it wasn't triplets, right? I'm like, well, if it came out of your penis, ladies are like, yeah. If it came out of your penis, you would clap for one. Because I don't know if you've known this, but having babies is hard, and like two of them, it's like. That's difficult shit, guys. When people, side note, I have a lot of family here and friends. One of my brothers is here, so I'm gonna do a joke about my mom. Your mother, she probably is a narcissist if she takes your twins out and pretends they're hers to get free shit. And if that free shit happens to be ammunition for her handgun, she might also be from backwoods Michigan. Like, anyway, people think twins are fantastic. They're like, oh my god, that was so much fun, 2 is better than 1. And I'm like, no. Because when you get 2 of everything, that means you get 2 of all the musical toys. You know, the ones that like ding and beep and make your living room look like Firekeeper's Casino for babies? Like, it's like there's no alcohol, there's no smoking, it's just winner, winner, Gerber dinner. 24/7. I'm glad you guys laugh. Sometimes people don't laugh, and I'm like, you guys, people on Facebook think that's funny. So you should totally laugh at that. At this point in my set, a lot of times the guys start to glaze over. They're like, I came to a comedy show for dick jokes. Where are your dick jokes? I have to say, my set's kind of like comedic foreplay. You gotta hold your load to the end. There'll be dick jokes. There might even be vagina jokes. I might get crazy, guys. So just hold on, right? But I can add something to my set that makes things super sexy right now, all right? Are you ready? So I'm a housewife, and I like to add one little word to housewife, and that word is lesbian. That's right, I'm a lesbian housewife. I'm married to a woman who pays all my bills. Yeah, and what's great about it is I pretty much eat pussy for a living. It's like being a porn star without all the STDs. This guy's like, that's gross. It's not. It's not. You obviously don't go down, but it's fine. You got a beard. A beard? I don't know. That seems weird to me. I don't do the beard thing with ladies. My brother's like, oh my god. Anyway, it's hard being a lesbian, guys, and not because of discrimination, because that's like so 2001. And it's not hard because you all seem to think I'm some sort of Olympic gymnast that does this thing called scissoring. Guys, could you imagine like Rosie O'Donnell scissoring? Like, no. It's also not hard because I used to have like these really weird celebrity crushes on people that you wouldn't normally, you know, like I was really in love with Jennifer Granholm, so. Who else had that poster? Not me, I'm just me. You know, well, Jennifer has great moles, so you guys, I love her. No, but the hardest part about being a lesbian, guys, is that I can't order fish tacos anymore. It's just like if I was a gay guy, I would not be parking in the rear. Not gonna happen. But there are some good things about being a lesbian. All right, number one, I could gain like 200 pounds, look like Donald Trump with a vagina. The majority of the lesbian community would still find me attractive. I swear to God, if Donald Trump went to Old Navy and he bought a polo shirt and some khakis, and he went to Gay Pride, the majority of the lesbians there would just think he was the old fuck that they fucked last year. Like, they would just be like, oh, that's that old chick I fucked. Yeah. I was really drunk, guys. The other good thing about being a lesbian, and this gets kind of offensive, is that my sex life's probably better than all you straight people's. Now, sometimes the guys are like, baby, you ain't been with this. But a lot of times the ladies are like, she's probably right. She's probably right. And I can break it down for you. I can just like do the math. It's really simple. It's just like one vagina plus two vaginas is like better than no vaginas. So, or like only one vagina. It's just vaginas are better, guys. Speaking of vaginas, I really like the word vagina. Some people crochet. I stay up late at night thinking about words that sound like vagina. So, for example, fajitas. And you're going, Megan, fajitas doesn't sound like vagina. But it does if you say it like a gringo and you say fajitas. Fajitas, vaginas. It's pretty similar, right? My other favorite is angina. It's a word for chest pain. Now, who the fuck came up with that? Like your 91-year-old grandma's like in the cardiologist's office and they're like, ma'am, have you experienced any angina? And she's like, yes, for 91 years. 92 on Sunday. But my favorite is, I said I'm from Saginaw, right? There's a credit union there that's backwards. It's backwards Saginaw Credit Union. So it's Wanagass Credit Union. But the W is fucked up so it looks like Vagina's Credit Union. And I really, really, really want to go in there and just be like, yes, I'd like to make $1 deposit into your vaginas. And they'd be like, you mean Wanagass Credit Union? I'd be like, no, vaginas, because I'm a dick. Get it? I have a funny word for my vaginas if you guys want to hear it. My vagina, I don't have two. I have one. Do you want to hear it? It's special. My wife is in the audience. She's like, my favorite, I like to call my vagina my labia babies. Like labia and babies together. I'm going to bring that out, guys. People are going to be saying that. They are. Anyway. All right. I want to do a really dirty joke. Do you guys want to hear it? It's like super dirty. You sure? All right, I did it in front of my grandma last week, so, whatever, what the hell. All right, so have you heard of the term or phrase, cum dumpster? Cum dumpster, right? My straight lady friends find this to be like the most super offensive term in the whole world, but just like right below cunt, there's like cunt and then cum dumpster. It's just bad. But as a lesbian, I kind of feel like it's accurate. If you're a heterosexual female engaged in heterosexual sex with a male, your vagina is a receptacle for semen, otherwise known as cum. It's just like biological certainty. It was set up. It was set up to receive that, right? But I have some straight friends who are like, Megan, I make him wear a condom. He wears a condom, so there's no cum in me. I am not a cum dumpster. And my response to that is, just because you put a trash bag in a garbage can, don't make it an iPhone. All right, I'm Megan Coddington.
If used properly, how effective are condoms at preventing pregnancy?
97%.
99%. I have not heard the right answer yet. The right answer is 97%. That is how accurate a properly used condom is. Now prepare to have your minds blown. Do you know how effective properly pulling out is?
94.
62.
96%. 96%. Every time you lost your boner fumbling with a condom, that was for a 1% edge. Condoms are not just for preventing pregnancy. They are very important for preventing sexually transmitted diseases. Condoms for when your fear of AIDS is greater than your love. Also, condoms are sexual eggs. I love novelty condoms because my dick is not going to glow in the dark by itself. Didn't we talk a minute ago about you waiting till the end of the show? Now, I love trivia. I actually run a trivia podcast. If you like trivia, you like podcasts, please look it up. So I'm always looking for interesting or strange information. And I came across this. Some of you may know, but I don't know. Recently, this trivia question's gone around the internet. 12 men have walked on the moon, and they all have a very strange, unusual, surprising thing in common. Anyone ever see this? They were men, but that's not like unusual or surprising. They're all Boy Scouts. That is, if you're ever in a pub quiz trivia contest, they're all Boy Scouts. But when I saw that question, the first thing that occurred to me is that they were all white. They're all white. It turns out the moon is fucking racist. I think they planted a Confederate flag up there, to be perfectly honest. Even the darkness has to get to the back of the moon. Get to the back of the moon, darkness. The front of the moon is for white American men, goddammit. I love trivia. I actually have a lot of great math jokes, but there's only one Asian person in the room, so it's not worth doing them. Here's the thing I read. Have you ever heard this? It's almost like an urban legend. Did you ever hear this? Would the nearest person with a dick put it in her mouth for me, please, just so we can get on with this? Have you ever heard of dolphins saving people? Dolphins saving people? Has anyone ever been saved by a dolphin? No, of course not, because it doesn't happen. It's an urban legend. There has never been even one scientifically confirmed case of a dolphin saving anybody. But there have been 14 confirmed cases of dolphins raping people. You get a gold star, sir. There you go. So that means if you are at the beach and you see a dolphin with rose tattoos on its dorsal fin, get the fuck out of the water. Now you know why they call him Flipper. Flipper. That is the dolphin rape joke, motherfuckers. Wake up. You know, not every comedian has dolphin rape jokes. I am working hard. A couple months ago, recently, all the Republicans, Ted Cruz made his announcement, and he said something, and don't worry, Grand Rapids, it's not a political thing. He said something about college teachers, which pissed me off, because that is my job. I am a college teacher. he made his announcement at this like famously conservative college, and he said that young conservative college students are afraid to speak up in class because their liberal commie college professors might punish them. I know this is totally ridiculous. I've been teaching college for 20 years. I am a liberal commie college professor, and I can assure you, not me or any teacher I know is going to punish a student just for expressing conservative ideas in class. In fact, if any of my students were to express any ideas whatsoever, it would be a cause for celebration. I would go straight home. Honey, guess what? One of my students spoke. He had an idea. Break out the good wine. And I do drink wine at home, but only when I'm grading papers. If you ever had to work your way through a stack of freshman essays, you're nodding, you know. Absolutely. Unfortunately for my students, I'm an angry drunk, though. By the end of the night, I am just so bitter and twisted. It's like, learn how to use a comma, dickhead! I'll just pass out on the papers like they're a pillow I'm drilling on. Hey, you guys have been great. I want to tell you one more quick story. And, Brian keeps talking about how old him and Devin are. And this story's the generation gap, so I don't know where you're going to fall on this. I know we've got some younger people in here, too. I like to end on this. This story shows the generation gap, because I have a 13-year-old son. And when I was 13, in my bedroom, I had a poster of Farrah Fawcett. Yes, you know the one with the nipples. If you want to Google something useful, Google that poster, and then send me $1, because it'll be worth it. So I had a poster of Farrah Fawcett. Right now, my 13-year-old son has in his bedroom a poster of Pikachu. I am not even entirely sure what a Pikachu is, and I can only hope he is not using it for the same thing I use Farrah Fawcett. My name is Jerry Jaffe. Please enjoy the rest of the show.
All the way from Paw Paw, it's Deb Buyer.
That's always my first challenge. And something that's also tough is getting to be my age and realizing that you're alone. You know, it's a fact that I haven't had a man at my breakfast table in so long, I'm starting to fantasize about that Quaker Oats man. Oh, you laugh, but I think I can imagine that despite that white hair he's got, I think he might have a nice tight little rear end. And speaking, I can dream. Speaking of dreaming, my kids, my sweet delusional kids, suggested I try online dating. And I know it sounded like some of you have tried this. And I discovered very quickly that things could be worse. Now, I am too short to ride any roller coaster at Disney World. And I have trouble seeing over my steering wheel. But my kids still thought I was a good online dating candidate because I have a good sense of humor. Those sites have not put a man at my breakfast table, but they have been very educational. The first site I tried was called Plenty of Fish. Yeah. And I learned very quickly that most of the single fish my age are already floating belly up near the top of the tank. So then I went over to eHarmony. And on that site, I discovered that despite what they claim in their online profiles, single men do not truly value a sense of humor above all else. And in my age category, from the pictures you can see what they value: Harley Davidsons and classic cars. But they gave me an idea for finding the right new guy. Since we all shrink as we get older, I'm just going to wait for all those average guys to shrink. And when they can't see over the steering wheels of their Studebakers and their classic Mustangs, maybe they won't be so damn picky. Then I'll drive up in my little subcompact and bring my good sense of humor. And if that doesn't work, I won't have to go back on eHarmony either. I will just keep my profile on the side and then put a personal ad in autotrader.com. And at my age, I'm looking for a different kind of website too. One kind of like Carfax. Maybe it would be Manfax. That can give me a condition report on these old guys before I go out with them. Letting me know if they come with all of their original parts, or at least have been fully restored. And maybe they can also send a picture of the rear end, because I think I mentioned that's a really important feature. The only drawback with my plan is that as the guys are shrinking, I'll probably be getting shorter too, and that's got me completely terrified, because in a couple of years I could disappear completely. But you know, there's even an upside to that. That's going to save my kids about $10,000 in funeral expenses. They won't have to buy a casket or even a little urn. So I've told my kids, if there are any ashes left of me at all after my memorial service, just put them in a little box, make a trip to Disney World, and throw those ashes off the top of the ride at Space Mountain. At least I'll get to go on a roller coaster once. And because they'll already be at Disney World, I'm going to encourage them to take the remainder of my trust fund along, because I do plan to leave a legacy. But the way I've been spending money lately, it might just about cover a couple of hot dogs at Disney World. My name is Deb Beyer. Thanks for having me.
I have a 5-year-old. Me and my wife have a 5-year-old, you know, because we kept it. And I'm glad we did, because for the longest time we kept trying to have another with no luck. So to improve our chance of conception, we moved into a trailer park. And it worked too. 7 months ago we moved in, and now she's 6 months pregnant. Yeah. This is funny. My 5-year-old is babysat by my aunt, and my aunt is married to a black guy, and they got a couple of mixed race children, and I don't have any problem with that, but it leads to some awkward questions. The other day, my 5-year-old comes home, rubs my wife's pregnant belly, and says, "Dad, what if the next baby comes out black?" I had to be honest. I'm like, if the next baby comes out black, that means you're gonna get a stepmom. We're planning for the future. So you know what? If we ever get divorced, I'm gonna want joint custody. My wife can keep the kids. I'll take the joints. I'll need them to keep me company in my studio apartment at York Creek. My next marriage, I'd never marry again for love. I'd marry for something I need, like sex every day. And my next wife would marry me for something she needs, like citizenship. I have Crohn's disease, and if you're not familiar, it's an intestinal disease. It's like irritable bowel syndrome. And like I had a surgery, they removed 2 feet of my intestine, and ever since then I've had to mix Metamucil with whatever I drink. And I like to mix Metamucil with Monster, because that keeps me awake for all sorts of shit.
I got it.
It was a pun. It was a shitty pun. Saying shitty puns is the number 2 thing that I do.
Oh, this is fun. Where was I? Holy shit, I was going to say something and then I forgot it. Shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, the irritable bowel syndrome and Crohn's and all that. You know how like every disease has a ribbon? Like the ribbon for irritable bowel syndrome, like the ribbon for
breast cancer is pink. The ribbon for irritable bowel syndrome was brown. Be kind of ironic. That'd be like if the ribbon for HIV was a rainbow. Boo, you know it's not. It's red. It used to be. In 1985, I looked it up. In 1985, the ribbon for HIV was a rainbow. Now it's red. I looked it up. History's homophobic. I'm not. In fact, in some ways, I'm jealous of gay people. And here's why. When a gay person comes out of the closet, a lot of people are very supportive. But when I came out of the closet as a guy with a foot fetish, even gay people were like, no. Let's just keep our private lives private, Mr. Happy Pants.
Happy feet.
Happy feet? This guy's high as shit. Right on. Holy shit.
Dabs.
Dabs. Dabs, people who use dabs remind me of why I vote pro-choice. Got a 5-year-old and I got one on the way. Both of them are girls. Both are girls. And I'm gonna be done. I'm not gonna be like one of those dudes that keeps going and going until they get the boy. And in fact, some way having daughters is better than having sons. Because, like, biblically speaking, I'll be able to trade daughters for some pretty cool shit. Like 40 head of cattle and some land. I mean, what would I ever be able to trade boys for? I mean, there's nothing the Catholic Church has that I want. I do that joke because my wife's family's Catholic and I want to offend them. She was raised Catholic and I was raised Baptist, and now we go to church sometimes on Easter. My wife's beautiful. She's tall, Irish redhead, out of my league. When I say she's Irish, like literally her parents came in off the boat during the Great Guinness Famine of 1980. She's Irish by blood, I'm not. I'm Scottish and German by blood, but I'm Irish and Jamaican by habit. Recently I had a pre-employment drug test and the results came back negative for drug use, but positive for being warmed up applesauce. Apple I'm cunting up my own jokes.
Come dumpstering up your own jokes.
Come dumpstering up my own jokes. I prefer Kleenex, sir. It's more sanitary. Go wash your hands. Yeah, transition to this joke will be fine. Sometimes I feel like I'm a bad dad. Like I can't even go to say the goodnight prayer to my daughter without almost going to the part with Metallica lyrics. I sleep naked. Woo! Yeah, I sleep naked. I sleep naked because it's the only thing that stops my kid from coming in the room at 3 in the morning and waking me up because of a bad dream. Just put yourself in a kid's shoe. What would you rather do? Face your nightmare alone or wake naked dad? Face the boogeyman or the fat bald version of the guy from Boogie Nights? Last school year, my nephew was in sex ed in middle school, and he came to me for some advice because he knows that I read a lot. And he gave me his little booklet, his little pamphlet, and it was the same booklet I had 20 years ago when I was that age. This booklet basically tells you the science, but it doesn't say anything that could save you any embarrassment, so I'm writing a sex ed book for middle schoolers. Like, lesson 1. Never, ever 69. After sex. Women do not consider driving on the rumble strips to be foreplay. Never use a glow-in-the-dark condom during the day. Waste 75 cents. Sleeping with a pregnant chick does not count as a threesome. Never put Miracle Grow in your underwear. Your dick won't get any bigger, but the crabs will get huge. Alright guys, that's my my time. Enjoy the show. Thank you.